Okay, guys. Morning, everyone. Got me coffee. Let's plug me earphones in. So, hope everyone is well. Sorry for making you wait. I hope you can all hear me okay. If you can hear me okay, give me a yay. So, we're beaming around the world, defending Elvis Presley. So in the afternoon, I'm spending the afternoon on the beach with the kids and my wife and her mother. So I want to try and do about 3 lives this morning. I want to do a couple of lives here at home. Then I want to go off and do one on a dog walk. So this is my plan. Then it frees me up in the afternoon to spend that time with my wife. So hi, Lorna. So I've messaged everyone. I did want to get another phone just so that I can, let me just get my phone a minute. So I can keep an eye on your messages. So we are going to discuss the Bridget Cruz and Priscilla lawsuits. I know there's more to it because there's one also going with, hi Dan, there's also one going with Elvis Presley Enterprises and Brigitte Kruse. So it's all quite messy. I wanted to give some history here because obviously defending Elvis Presley and myself, we have history with Bridget Cruz. Bridget Cruz used to join our show quite regularly. We even sang her happy birthday on her birthday. She joined us, so we sang her happy birthday. We actually got on very well with Bridget. For some reason, it's gone a bit pear-shaped, and obviously we had, how can I say it? We did try and tell another YouTube channel just to be a little bit careful because we don't really know what has gone on behind the scenes with Bridget and Priscilla. And I think really since we did that, Bridget has stopped joining our show and may think that we're against her. I'm actually not against Bridget. I do have views about Bridget. Not all good. Yeah, I am worried about Bridget in the way of we don't know what went on between Priscilla and Bridget before they fell out with the lawsuits. Yeah, but I also think Bridget has the courage and the guts to face Priscilla in a lawsuit because she served the first lawsuit, didn't she? Because Bridget feels that Priscilla changed her mind about these contracts that were signed. Yeah, so quite serious contracts, and we're going to go through them in a minute. So I do think that Priscilla literally just changed her mind. I do. Then you've got the counter-sue of the elder abuse. We've all heard it all before. Obviously, most of us think that the elder abuse is ridiculous. I mean, someone sent me a message the other day. I think it was Lucette, who is Poussin on YouTube. Lucette sent me a list of all the personal appearances that Priscilla's got lined up. A lot of traveling involved, but at the same time, Priscilla is trying to claim elder abuse. So that doesn't make sense, does it? So Rhonda did a show last night. Rhonda does this the best. Rhonda at Presley Mania. We highly recommend her. She's fantastic. She's the one, she's good with the court cases and the legal documents. She reads them out. It's more her thing. But I have had a few of you asking me, to do an update, to look at Rhonda's show. There's something on, there's a few sites on YouTube. Sorry, no, not on YouTube, on Google, Safari, whatever you want to call it, that are discussing the latest update. So what they're now saying is that Bridget has won round. No, Priscilla has won round 1 of this lawsuit. Yeah, so it's quite a big deal. At the moment, Priscilla has the upper hand. Now, we're going to go into that as well. So, I just want to say, let's just get things clear with defending Elvis, with Team Elvis, with myself, Louis. I personally would like Bridget to win this lawsuit against Priscilla. And I'll tell you why. Because I think that there is so much wrongdoing with Priscilla Presley towards Elvis, and Lisa, and Riley, and Finney, and Harper, and many other things. Yeah? Even Vernon. That Bridget is our only hope of putting Priscilla in her place. Putting Priscilla in her place. Who else is going to take on Priscilla? Seriously. Who else is going to do a lawsuit and take on Priscilla? Nobody. Nobody seems to have the guts to take on Priscilla's wrongdoing. Now, I want to repeat, guys, I don't hate Priscilla. We're not a hate channel against Priscilla, but I will expose her wrongdoing, and I'll do it every day because I want Elvis's image and reputation cleared. Priscilla, to me, is 90% of the damage done to Elvis's image and reputation has been done by Priscilla and her telling fake stories. Now, this is an entertainment show. Everything I say is for entertainment purposes and opinions only. So, guys, before I move on, how many of you here think, is there anybody else that has the guts to take on Priscilla and her little machine? So, her team of lawyers. Yeah, seriously. And this is why we want Bridget to win her lawsuit. We do. So, do any of you think there is anyone out there that has the guts to go up against Priscilla? Because there doesn't seem to be anyone that's prepared to do it. So let me just check your comments. Can you leave it in the comments now then? Is there anyone who has the guts to fight, to take on Priscilla? I don't think there is. I'm just quickly checking your comments, guys. We're going to do these shows 1 hour at a time, okay? So if we get to an hour, we're going to do a part 2. Yeah, I know you guys have had some terrible times with the storms. This is heartbreaking, isn't it? So, Pat, I also feel Bridget has done wrong as well. They both need to pay for what they've done. Well, hang on a minute. Pat, before we say that, I do say, let's find out what Bridget's done. You know, you're saying they both need to pay for what they've done, but hang on, let's find out what Bridget's done. Now, there is a possibility. Now, with Priscilla, we can list all the wrongdoing, can't we? We know a lot of it. We can break it down, list it. With Bridget, we don't know. With Bridget, we don't know what she's done wrong. So we have to be careful how we talk. Now, I would say with Bridget, there's a possibility that she helped Priscilla negotiate the deal with the Priscilla movie with Sofia Coppola, the deal with Riley. So when Lisa Marie contested her own daughter's wishes to give her inheritance to the grandkids, there's a possibility that Bridget was involved in that process, maybe even negotiating the deal where Riley has allowed Priscilla to be buried at the meditation garden, if possible. There's a possibility that Bridget negotiated the terms of the settlement between Riley and Priscilla. You know, the $1 million, the $400 legal expenses, the $100,000 a year that Priscilla gets, a few other bits and bobs. So we don't know what Bridget has done, but we are worried. We are worried. So this is for Pat, yeah? We are concerned about what Bridget did leading up to Priscilla and Bridget falling out. So that I agree with, but we don't know what it is yet. I am still leaning towards we want Bridget to win. Now, remember, there's two lawsuits. You've got Bridget demanding compensation for these contracts that were reneged, that Priscilla changed her mind about. Then you've got the countersuit. So you've got Priscilla saying she's owed, I think, she's suing for $1 million because she is saying that she's been ripped off, was conned, tricked into signing these contracts, by Bridget Cruz and her associates. So you've got those two lawsuits. The other stuff with Elvis Presley Enterprises to do with auction items, I think, is completely separate. So what Elvis Presley Enterprises, Joel Weisshanker, and them are doing, that's a completely separate thing. So we're not dealing with that today. So Bridget might have encouraged Priscilla to sue Riley. Yeah. It's speculation, guys. We don't know. This is why we warned. Remember, we warned another YouTube channel and said, be careful about Bridget because we don't really know what's gone on. That channel has aligned herself with Bridget. So we were basically saying, look, we want Bridget to win. But remember, there could have been wrongdoing with Bridget as well concerning auction items as well. The authenticity of these auction items. So it's messy. So on today's show, so Louis, so Pat, I want Bridget to win, but if her hands are dirty, she has to pay. All I can say, Pat, all I can say to that is, it'll come out in the wash. Yeah, it'll come out in the wash. Hopefully the wrongdoing that happens concerning Lisa Marie, her inheritance, Lisa Marie wanted her inheritance for the grandkids, Riley, Finney and Harper. If Bridget has had an involvement there that has been negative towards Lisa Marie and the grandkids, I'm with you on that, Pat. Yeah. I personally suspect Elvis Presley Enterprise lawsuit, Bridget has an ulterior motive of piling pressure on her. I think, obviously, Frederick sent me all the documents. I'm not going to read. These documents are 100 pages long each. So I don't read documents. But I appreciate Frederick sending them to me. Now, I think it was Frederick that said to me, there are consequences. So if Bridget wins her lawsuit, that means Priscilla has to conform to the details of the contracts that she signed. Now, that could have a knock-on effect. I think, was it you, Frederick, that said it to me? So if Bridget wins, we go on to another set of problems. Because what power does that give Bridget? I did say this to our researcher. I was trying to discuss it to her. And I said, well, what is the situation if Bridget wins? Yeah? What power does that give Bridget concerning Lisa Marie's inheritance, concerning these contracts? And that person said to me, no, this is all about Bridget feels that she is owed a percentage of any income that Priscilla has using her name, image, and likeness. Yeah? Now, remember, we've already found out that Priscilla had already sold the name Presley. So the name, image, likeness of Priscilla that was sold to Bridget Cruz really is the word Priscilla and the way she looks. Yeah? Maybe something to do with the movie as well, the Priscilla film. Something there. So yeah, so Frederick was saying, I think it was it you, Frederick? I'm pretty sure Frederick said to me, there's a potential outcome. If Bridget wins, there is a knock-on effect. And when I asked our researcher about this, she said, well, yes, but the knock-on effect is between Priscilla and Bridget. It doesn't affect anything to do with the twins or with Riley or with Graceland's. Yeah? And she has a point. So you have the bubble of Priscilla and Bridget and the things they agreed in their contracts. the money they feel they're owed, the compensation they feel they are owed, yeah? But then you've got Gracelands, obviously the 85%, the building of Gracelands, the 15% of Gracelands that Riley and the twins will retain eventually. Well, Riley at the moment. And what the researcher told me is that the bubble of Gracelands is completely separate to what Bridget and Priscilla agreed. Two separate entities. So the answer to Frederick's worry, Frederick's concerns, is the researcher told me that it does seem like it's two completely separate things. So hopefully this won't have any effect on Riley or Finley and Harper or Graceland. Yeah. Now, of course, we've got the other lawsuit with Joe Weishanker and Elvis Presley Enterprises. So, but that's a different story. Let's just quickly read your comments. I just, yeah, Frederick's been telling me that Riley's very busy. She's just starting filming. Let me just say, let me just quickly look at Frederick's, the name of the movie. So she is filming Butterfly Jam. And it's got underway. So she's filming in France. And then they shift to New York. Yeah. So she is busy. But I don't think this... You know, tell me if you disagree with me, guys. I don't think this lawsuit with Priscilla has anything to do with Riley, Finley and Harper. I don't think it really affects them. I don't think it affects Gracelands. Yeah. Am I right or wrong? You tell me, guys. What I would like to know is, where did that money go that she was making, and her appearances is the only way of paying her bills? This woman was making millions, and what happened to all the money? Well, it seems like she spends it. That's all I can say. She loves spending. I think they are both guilty of wrongdoing. In the end, Priscilla will win, or because she always does. It does seem that way. Orion, it does seem that way. I do agree with you, Orion. There is wrongdoing with Bridget and Priscilla. I agree with that. I agree with that. Because, let's face it, up until Priscilla and Bridget fell out, they were doing stuff together for years. Yeah? We don't know what's gone on, do we? We don't really know. So they were both partners in crime, yeah? That's just my opinion for entertainment purposes. So Orion, yes. Right. So we're going to do two things. We're going to read the document on Google, YouTube, whatever, or the write-up. And then probably we're going to go and do a part 2 and review Rhonda's video. Okay, Presley Mania, Rhonda's video. I want to do it in 2 separate sections. Okay, so let's get this up and we're going to read it together. Okay, so I did find it. Let's have a look. Where did I put it? Now let me find it, guys. Let's get Facebook. I'm gonna let a dog up out a minute. Let's get Facebook up. I did send I sent the thing to myself. Now I was given this. This was sent to me about a week ago, or around, not a week, but you know. And I was going to cover it, but then I just kept. Let's have a look. But then Rhonda posted it last night, and I thought, right, okay, it sort of reminded me to do it. So here it is. Here's the. Let's get off these spammy type. Right, so there we are, the Rolling Stone. I'm going to let the dog out, and then we're going to read it, some of it together. Right, go on then. Up you go. Up, 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 up. Up, 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 up. Okay. Okay, guys. I'm still trying to wake up. I'm still half asleep. I woke up. I think I woke up at 7. And I'm still a bit sleepy today. Right. So let's just get. I want to get your comments up. So while we're reading this, we can comment. Let's have a look. Okay. Right. Let's have a look. So let me just quickly check your last few comments. Hi, Nancy. How are you? When Rhonda asked Bridget a question about getting Priscilla buried at Graceland, Bridget just stopped talking to Rhonda. When Rhonda asked Bridget a question... Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember now. Yes. No, because I will say this about Rhonda, Presley Mania, who please subscribe to her. She has always said don't trust either of them. She's always said there is wrongdoing with Bridget and with Priscilla. And to be honest with you, so have I. If you go back on my shows, if you go into the search of my shows, going back 6 months, maybe longer, I've always said we don't really know the full story with Bridget Cruz. I've also said I've always said we support Bridget. We want her to win because I want to see Priscilla put in her place. Yeah, but I've also always said we don't know what went on before they fell out. I've always said that. Now, with the other show that has aligned herself with Bridget, I'm not going to say names. So I don't talk about other shows anymore. Remember, guys, any show that I've had problems with, I don't watch them and I don't talk about them. Okay? So my point is this. The problem you've got is with the other show that has aligned themselves with Bridget is she's assuming that everything Bridget did is okay. Even before they fell out, so the couple of years that they were friends, before they fell out, stuff went on, didn't it? Stuff went on. So Bridget was trying to help Priscilla, even negotiating the deal with her, with Riley when they fell out. So the mistake of the other YouTube channel is that if something wrong has happened leading up to them falling out over the dispute to do with this lawsuit and the elder abuse, the 2 lawsuits, this show is aligning herself with Bridget, which she's acting as if Bridget has done no wrong. And I don't think we can do that. I personally don't think we can look at Bridget and say Bridget is completely innocent leading up to when they fell out, when she fell out with Priscilla. I don't think we can do that because it's complicated, isn't it? Let's face it. Priscilla went against her daughter's wishes for her inheritance to go to the grandkids. Bridget allegedly helped Priscilla to try and get her way. Yeah? So we do have to be careful, 100%. So I say to the YouTube channel that has fully aligned herself with Bridget, I say be careful. I still say it, but not just that. I say a bit more. Remember, this Bridget joined the show, the other show, and said, please send me questions to an email address and I will answer them on a YouTube channel that I'm going to create. So Bridget Cruz has never set up the YouTube channel. Now, I know that many of you here did send Bridget Cruz questions on to this email address that the YouTube channel was giving out. Now, did any of you here send questions to Bridget Cruz through this email address? Please put it in the comments. My point is this. Bridget Cruz and the YouTube channel promised that a YouTube channel would be set up answering all these questions that the fans are worried about what may have gone on between Bridget and Priscilla. So where is the YouTube channel? So I say this to the YouTube channel that has aligned herself with Bridget. Where is the YouTube channel? Will the fans, the Elvis fans, get answers to these questions? Okay? And if Bridget Cruz watches our show, I say to you, where are the answers to these questions that the Elvis fans sent you to your email address? Why have you not set up the YouTube channel to answer these questions that we, the fans, were asking you? Remember, Bridget, you joined the YouTube channel and asked us to send you questions and promised us that you would answer these questions in a YouTube channel. And it hasn't been done. None of this has happened. Yeah. So did any of you ask questions? Can I ask you that, guys? Did any of you send Bridget Cruz questions to the email address that the YouTube channel gave out? Let's see if right. So I want to just check your comments. So please answer that question if you don't mind, guys. Hi, Regina. Let's have a look. So we've got hi, Emily and Jane and Pat and Lorna and Teresa. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Right, let's have a look. So, Frederick, yeah, Emily, because the point is, if Priscilla can pay Bridget $1 million and be rid of her, that's a big difference than if Bridget controls over Priscilla and Yeah, but Frederick, this is what I say to you. Frederick, I understand your concerns, but this is what I say. What does Priscilla own? She doesn't own anything, does she? What does she own? She's nothing to do with Graceland. I know she gets a yearly salary as some kind of advisor, but all that Bridget can get from Priscilla is compensation, money. She can get cash off her. She can get a percentage of Priscilla's earnings, yeah, so her appearances. But what else? Yeah, Priscilla has been completely cut off from Gracelands. Cut off, I'm on about in any form of ownership. So really, Bridget, really, from what I see, can only demand a percentage of money, earnings owed to her from Priscilla's earnings. She can't get nothing from the name Presley because Priscilla had sold the name Presley way back, I think in 2005. She can get a percentage of the word Priscilla, the name Priscilla. Yeah, we don't know the details with the Priscilla movie with Sofia Coppola. We don't know Bridget's involvement in that, so I'm not sure about that. But I personally, from what I've been told, Bridget will not be entitled to, even if she wins, she won't be entitled to anything to do with Gracelands or the Presley name. That's how it seems to me. You know, don't forget, we're just fans. I'm just my opinion. We don't really know, do we? Yeah, and Frederick says Bridget's gone silent. She's gone, from a YouTube point of view, she's gone completely silent. Even the other YouTube channel doesn't seem to have had any involvement anymore. So she asked us to ask these questions. She said she was going to do the YouTube channel, but it never happened, did it, guys? So she definitely has gone silent. Now, Bridget Cruz, remember, I always said, I hope you win, I hope you win. You know, Bridget Cruz has gone through hell, even had some bullying because of this lawsuit with Priscilla. But, and we want, you know, I've always said I wanted Bridget to win, but she has gone completely quiet on us. She stopped joining our show. She joined our show, I can't even, 6, 7, 8 times. So the only thing I've ever said against Bridget is I'm worried about what went on with the auction items that were sold, Elvis's belongings, and that we don't know what went on between Bridget and Priscilla before they fell out. But I've also always said to Bridget, we like you, we want you to win. So Bridget has obviously made a decision. I think Bridget thinks we're against her. I'm not against Bridget. I actually liked her personality. I thought she was very respectful and friendly. But we are worried at what has gone on in the past. Okay? What about Priscilla's likeness? EP used a video with Elvis, Priscilla and Lisa. For instance, could Bridget demand some compensation? That was my question. Yeah, I don't think so, Frederick. I just don't think so. But, you know, I'm not a lawyer. I don't do all this copyright type stuff. I just don't think so. I think the money owed to Priscilla, just my opinion, and vice versa. So Priscilla owed money, Bridget owed money. It's between them two. I don't think it's got anything to do with Graceland's and the twins and Riley. Literally nothing to do with them. Honestly, I think it's completely separate. That's just my opinion, yeah? Louis, is it possible Bridget has gone quiet because of the court case? Of course, it is possible. But to me, Bridget went quiet once she joined the other YouTube channel. And we were saying to Bridget, to the other YouTube channel, be careful. She's gone quiet since then. Yeah? I do think Bridget thought she was going to get this overwhelming amount of support from the Elvis fans, but the Elvis fans are still skeptical, aren't they? The Elvis fans are worried about things that have gone on between Bridget and Priscilla before they fell out. So I don't think Bridget is getting the support she was expecting. Yeah? So I think she never bothered with our show because she didn't get what she wanted from us. Yeah, that makes sense. It does seem that as soon as we slightly disagreed with Bridget, she disappeared. So, yeah, it does seem like the other YouTube channel is very much really supporting her 100%. That's a mistake. To fully support Bridget 100% is a mistake. So to the other YouTube channel, you fully supporting Bridget, that you're not being careful enough. You're not looking at all the facts. There's more to it. Yeah? So I personally think Elvis fans are worried that the other YouTube channel has aligned herself so much with Bridget. I think they're worried for the other YouTube channel. Yeah? You can put it in the comments, guys, yeah? So, Pat, I knew that she wouldn't do the YouTube channel and that she would expose dirt on Priscilla. That's Emily. Right, Dan, after Priscilla passes, her name won't be worth anything. How can you make money on her name? I think both Bridget and Priscilla were trying to pull a fast one on each other. Okay, thanks, Dan. Yeah, Pat's opinion is to not trust Bridget. I think, do you know what, Pat? We can't trust them, can we? We can't. We don't know what went on behind closed doors. So I think we have to be skeptical. I agree, we can't trust them. I agree, we cannot trust what went on between Bridget and Priscilla. We can't. So I'm going to have to agree with that. No, she's not quiet. She's been talking to Joe at Rare Hours Photos and she said she's going to do a live. I think it's called Bullcrap. She's putting she's putting crap in Joe's head. Right, Nancy, I haven't watched that. So Nancy, are you saying that I must have missed it? Nancy, are you saying that Brigitte Kruse did a show with Joe? I didn't know that. I'm surprised I would have missed that. I'll keep reading, then we'll have a check. Bridget never signed an NDA. She can spill the truth at a later time. But Ryan, how do you know that? How do you know Bridget never signed an NDA? Frederick, it's always possible that the back channel discussion for a settlement are underway. Yeah, I agree with that, Frederick. A lot of these things are settlements, aren't they? A lot of these things, it's all about money, innit? Come on, ultimately, this whole thing is about money. The whole thing is about money. Yeah? You take away the money, there is no case. Pat, yep, I let Joe know to be careful with this like 6 times. Emily, we saw through it. Do we know if Nancy, she's been talking to Joe saying she's going to go on his show and answer all the questions. Oh, so do you mean she's been commenting? Nancy, do you mean she's been commenting? Because I don't think Joe hasn't interviewed her, has he? So do you think she has been commenting on his show? Joe said that about a month ago, and I told him you got to be careful, so I don't trust her. All right, so Joe just said it in passing, yeah? Because from what I know, Rare Elvis Photos hasn't interviewed Brigitte Cruse, from what I know. I could be wrong, yeah? I don't think she appeared on his show. I saw him say that he had spoken to Bridget at some point, but I don't watch all he says. Right, okay, Frederick. Right, okay. So, yeah, I mean, me and Joe do talk, yeah? Joe's very, very kind to me. Joe, you know I'm a big fan of Joe. And I would have noticed, I think. Right, let's read a bit of this. Priscilla Presley wins round of elder abuse lawsuit against associates. This is not really a contract-based case at its heart. It is a fraud case. A Californian judge said in a ruling that found California, not Florida, is the most convenient forum for Presley's legal action. Right. Okay. So, you know, the judge, obviously looking at this case, has decided that this is more about fraud than contracts. Now, I don't know if I agree with that, because there were definitely contracts signed, 100%, a lot of contracts. So that's a funny one, isn't it, guys? And there, you know, this is about contracts. Now, fraud is, I would say the countersue is fraud. This is just my opinion. So she's countersuing. I would say that is fraud, because she is saying, Priscilla is saying, I got ripped off by Bridget Cruz and her associates. So I think the first case, so when Bridget Cruz served a lawsuit against Priscilla, that is contract based. Yeah, contract based. But then when Priscilla's countersued, that is fraud, because she's accusing Bridget of fraud with her associates, lying to her, scamming her, conning her. So I don't agree with that ruling, actually. I think it's a mixed ruling of both. I think the ruling should be saying fraud and contracts, breach of contracts. So let's have a look. So Bridget Cruz told me it's 4 companies that were set up, 4 companies, but quite a lot of contracts. Didn't Bridget say she has never signed an NDA? Kate, hi Kate. I don't remember. Maybe. Yeah, Nancy. Yeah, he's in contract with her. So in contact with her. Right. Okay. Joe has said had a long chat with Bridget, but he couldn't say too much. Right. Okay. Thank you, Kate. So, yeah, I haven't watched that show. So Bridget is doing the rounds. Yeah, Karen's got it. She's going wherever she can get people on her side. That's basically what I think you guys are saying. Joe said that Bridget thought this Desiree person might be credible, but it didn't seem like Bridget actually knew Desiree. Desiree, are we talking about the book Are You Lonesome Tonight? Okay. Obviously I don't talk about that book. Yeah. I don't really go down. I'm not interested in that book. Now, no offense to the people that believe it, by the way. I choose to not have nothing to do with that book. It's just a decision I made 5 months ago. That will be interesting, as there's a video of Prissy's. Yeah, so it is said that when the contracts were signed, Priscilla demanded that Bridget be present. So they recorded it when these contracts were signed, yeah? Yeah. I've always said to you about the Are You Lonesome book, my views on that. So I don't want to go down that road, because I want to show respect to Joe. So I'd rather, and I want to show to respect to the people that believe it. So I'm not going to go there. Right. A Los Angeles County judge has sided with Priscilla and ruled that California is the best venue to hear her elder abuse lawsuit against the group of ex-associates she claimed duped her out of more than $1 million. That means the case can proceed with its next hearing in a few weeks. So in a few weeks, guys. So maybe this is a week ago, yeah? So in the new ruling issued Thursday, Judge Mark H. Epstein shot down the argument by Florida memorabilia dealer Bridget Cruz, husband and investor Kevin Fialco, that Presley elder abuse claim against should be placed on hold whilst they pursue a separate breach of contract lawsuit against Presley in Florida. The defendants had argued that fighting the Presley lawsuit on the West Coast while simultaneously pursuing their previously filed claims against Priscilla in Florida would be extraordinary inconvenient, which I see that. After previously rejecting the defendant's claim that California had no jurisdiction over them, Epstein said he considered the latest legal push yet another in what seems to be a never-ending series of motions to move this case out of California into Florida. He rebuffed the argument that Florida was the best venue in terms of preserving private and public resources. He also brushed off the claim that Presley's signed contracts that agreed to litigate disputes in Florida. Okay. This is not really a contract-based case at its heart. I don't agree with that. Of course it is. Of course it is. I agree there could be fraud in this as well. Yeah. But it is contract-based, so I'm not sure why he said that. Epstein wrote in his ruling obtained by Rolling Stone, plaintiff is suing these defendants for fraud and elder abuse, an aspect of which was allegedly bamboozling her into signing those contracts in the first place. Yeah, so she's, Priscilla is saying she was basically conned into signing them. Judge Epstein said that while Cruz, her husband, and Fialco may reside in Florida and Tennessee, Presley and her alleged witnesses are in California. He also noted that the abuse alleged occurred in California, giving the state a strong public interest in the case. He faulted the defendants for not addressing these issues adequately in a joint motion. Defendant seems to almost ignore the elder abuse allegations, which are not part of the Florida action. But that is the beating heart of the Californian case. He wrote, plaintiff Presley suggests that the witnesses to the elder abuse, the effect it had on plaintiff and plaintiff situation before and after the alleged actions are here, not in Florida. Similarly, plaintiff contends that many of the documents that relate to the claim of abuse are here as well. The court tends to agree. So we get the idea, don't we, go? Lawyers for Cruz, her husband, and Fialco did not immediately respond to the request for comment Friday. In prior declarations to the court, the defendant claimed Presley's willingly entered into arguments with them to lease a property in Florida and fork over the controlling interest in her publicity rights. Right, so I don't want to read it all out because we've already read all this and a lot of us already know the case. So, yeah, so I think what we're going to do, now there isn't actually that much there. Let me just have a look. Let's have a look. Let's read down here. So in a 45-page elder abuse complaint filed in last July, Presley claimed Cruz quickly immersed herself in her life after meeting her in 2021 and often sending her multiple text messages a day and telling her how much she loved her and admired her. Presley's lawsuit called Cruz a con artist, a pathological liar who misappropriated more than $1 million from the Presley and fraudulently induced her into signing contracts that gave Cruz and Fialco 51% and 80% control over closely held companies, owning and exploiting her name, image, and likeness. Now, I will say this, guys. I will never understand how someone as clever as Priscilla, who has had a lot of experience in lawsuits, in companies, in contracts, would agree to terms like that. 51%, 80% against her. Madness. I don't understand why Priscilla would agree to such strong terms. This action arises out of a meticulously planned and abhorrent scheme by the defendants in this action to prey on older women by gaining her trust, isolating her from most important people in her life, and duping her into believing that they would take care of her, personally and financially, whilst their real goal was to drain her of every last penny that she had. The lawsuit filed by Presley's lawyers Martin Singer and T. Wayne, Harmon and Reed. Now, you know, that's the counter bit, isn't it? The counter suit, the elder abuse. But I will say this, guys. I don't think, why would, you know, from the point of view of Bridget Cruz, why is she going to completely drain Priscilla of all her money? Just, why would Bridget do that? But I also think for Bridget to help Priscilla, because that's ultimately what Bridget is saying. I helped Priscilla out of a bad time, out of a financial nightmare. Yeah? You would have thought it was all going to be win-win. Priscilla gains, Bridget gains, they all make money together. I get the feeling that Priscilla did just completely change her mind. Now with Bridget, with the contracts and what was agreed, maybe Priscilla did agree to too much. Maybe the deal was too much in favour of Bridget, and that is why Priscilla changed her mind. Just thinking out loud, guys. The action arises out of a meticulously planned, abhorrent scheme by the defendant in action to prey on an older woman by gaining her trust. I'm not going for the elder abuse, guys. I'm not falling for that. It's just bullshit. Priscilla is traveling everywhere, doing these personal appearances. She's fine. Yeah, the one little worry is when she forgets where Lisa Marie was on the day Elvis died, which is a bit weird. But generally, come on, she's got her faculties. She seems well. She's, you know, I would say she actually looks quite strong and healthy. I would say. Presley said that defendants placed a strong hold on her finances and withheld not only $500,000 she made from Sofia Coppola's film adaptation of her biography Elvis and Me, but also the $349,900 that she received in connection with her Priscilla cosmetic deal, though Priscilla said she negotiated the deal for Coppola's film titled Priscilla under the predecessor company before Cruz and Fialco were even involved in her affairs. The pair never paid a dime, the lawsuit said. Priscilla further alleged Cruz and Fialco attempted to obtain an invitation to the premiere of the Priscilla at the Venice Film Festival, even though they had absolutely nothing to do with the film. Okay. Right, so in her dueling breach of contract lawsuit, Cruz alleged that Presley illegally walked out on their various business agreements when her financial circumstances changed in the wake of her daughter Lisa Marie's death. As Rolling Stones previously reported, Presley challenged a 2016 amendment in her daughter's Promenade Trust that removed her as co-trustee, then quickly reached a generous settlement with granddaughter Riley Q that granted her $1 million lump sum, a payment of $100,000 annual salary, and burial rights at Graceland. Okay, I think this is the last bit, guys. In a statement previously sent to Rolling Stone, a spokesman for Cruz called Presley elder abuse lawsuit a retaliatory response to Cruz' breach of contract case. We are confident that the facts will speak for themselves and justice will prevail. The statement said it saddens all of us who dropped our lives to provide aid to a woman who needed help, and she is now attempting to use her celebrity status to ruin the lives of kind, hardworking people. Thank you to all our supporters who have stood by us during a difficult time. We will continue to focus on our business and look forward to our day in court. The truth will come out by way of evidence and not rumours. There will be no further comment at this time. We respect the judicial process. So we've read this before, guys. So the bottom line is that gives you a sort of a short version of what went on. Yeah, from both points of view. What Bridget thinks, what Priscilla thinks. what the lawsuit's all about. It's going to go on and on, isn't it, guys? It's going to go on and on. So what I'm going to do now, guys, I'm going to read your comments, and then we're going to stop and come back and do a part 2. Okay? So let's go back on your comments. You know, I think we all think that there's wrongdoing on both parts. Come on, let's face it, guys. Let's have a look on your comments. Okay, let's try and catch up on your comments. All right. Right. Do you know, I am interested to know what Joe thinks of Rare Elvis photos. I'd like to know what his opinion is. So it's always possible. Yeah, so like Frederick says, it's a possibility they're trying to settle behind the scenes. This is how it normally goes, isn't it, guys? I don't think she appeared on his show. I saw him. Oh, right, yeah. So I think it sounds to me like maybe Joe had taken it upon himself to speak to her, or maybe she had commented on his show. I'm not sure. Does anyone know? Did Bridget Cruz comment on Joe's show? What happened with Bridget? I'm finishing in a minute. Do a part 2. What happened with Bridget saying Priscilla had a grandchild in Florida? All of that talk seems to have stopped. Yeah. Good point, Dan. It's a good point. Very good point. We need to look into that, actually. You make a very good point, Dan. It's almost been forgotten. If Elvis had been alive, Lisa would not have turned out the way it did. Right. They had Priscilla. Right. So Frederick, they had Priscilla in Ethel, Florida, and they even provided lawyers for Priscilla. Priscilla should have totally independent lawyers to review, or I mean, it's Priscilla's stupidity. Bridget didn't provide the lawyers out of kindness. She was luring Priscilla in because it was going to benefit Bridget financially. Yeah, I think they were all in it for the money, weren't they? Weren't they? Don't you think, Frederick? That I assume Bridget is holding the grandchild thing over Priscilla's head. It's leverage. Yeah, I think, Frederick, I think that was the intention originally, but it's a funny one how the press have let that go. That there's a possible grandchild. Yeah, and the circumstances behind it. I'm surprised. Yeah. Let's have a look. Dan, I agree. The grandchild, you would think, yeah, you'd think it'd be big news, definitely. But okay, guys, what I'm going to do, I'm going to do a part 2. I'm going to quickly have a 10-minute break, make a cup of tea, and we're going to come back. We're going to do a part 2. Okay, guys, I'll put the link up straight away. We are going to, part 2, we are going to review Presley Mania's video, Rhonda's video. Okay, that's part 2. We've been on, we've had a great show. We've been on nearly an hour. Before I go, is there anything anyone would like to add? I think Bridget knew what she was getting into when she got hooked up with Priscilla. Well, Pat, do you know what I would say? That I think Bridget may have got a bit too comfortable with Priscilla. I think Bridget trusted Priscilla a bit too much. I don't think Bridget was expecting Priscilla to change her mind. Yeah? Seriously, I don't think Bridget was expecting Priscilla to change her mind. Kate, don't worry, we're going to do part 2. Part 2 is going to be very similar. So part 2, we're going to go through Rhonda's show, Presley Mania, and it'll be the same stuff. But we'll review Rhonda's opinion, and then we'll discuss it. The theory was maybe Lisa provided the egg for Travolta. Some said Riley, but that would be a great grandchild. Yeah. So Frederick, we've done quite a lot on this, and it is possible it's Lisa or Riley, isn't it? But more, I would say more likely it was Lisa. Lisa trying to help her friend, John Travolta. So obviously they'd gone through a lot of grief because they'd lost a child. John Travolta had lost his son, hadn't he? So I still think there's a possibility it's true, though. 50, guys. There is a possibility that there is a secret grandchild. Honestly, possible. But it's only the egg, isn't it? It's the egg. It does sound like there's a possibility that Lisa Marie really tried to help John Travolta. And Kelly Preston, yeah? Kelly Preston, John Travolta. It sounds like Lisa tried to help. Because, so... Frederick, can I ask you, do you think there's a secret grandchild? Can I ask Frederick? Yeah. But we worry about John Travolta because he introduced Lisa to Scientology. I think Priscilla knew that Lisa liked John Travolta, you know, and I think that ultimately led John Travolta introducing Lisa Marie to Scientology. I was told, if we watched that show, says that anyone that introduces a celebrity to Scientology gets a commission of the money paid from the celebrity to the Scientology center. Yeah. So John Travolta, it's possible, gets a percentage of all money that is paid into Scientology by a celebrity. John Travolta gets commission. Is it true, guys? Which means Tom Cruise, anyone he introduces to Scientology, he gets a commission of the money paid to Scientology. So it's all pretty worrying, guys. These are just things that I read. It was Serge Del Mar. So Serge Del Mar has a YouTube channel, an anti-Scientology YouTube channel. Yeah, Serge Del Mar, and he said this. Well, all I can say is Bridget put in a sworn affidavit, so that makes it pretty credible. Well, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. I don't agree. Affidavits, sworn affidavits, people lie, and even courts make mistakes. You know, so I definitely don't agree with that. I doubt the 50 years later that he's worth 200 million via his acting. Yeah. It's a shame because I'm a massive fan of John Travolta, but his Scientology involvement really worries me. Really worries me. So, come on, we all fell in love with John Travolta in Staying Alive, in Saturday Night Fever, in Greece, didn't we? And for the older people, in Welcome Home Kotter. Yeah? So, right, guys. 10 minutes. I'll be back. 10 minutes. I'll leave the comments up so you can carry on commenting. Okay, guys? Thanks for joining me. I really appreciate it. Good morning to all of you. Appreciate it, guys.